to Guiding Voices, the podcast where we speak with inspiring mentors shaping the future through leadership, innovation, and purpose. Today, we have an engineer that is at the intersection of cybersecurity and industrial systems. We are honored to have engineer Wale Olaseha. He's a seasoned professional with global experience in operational technology and industrial Internet of Things security. He currently serves as the global OT cyber risk manager lead at Schlumberger in the United States. He's got certifications like CISSP, CCSP, GICSP, that's quite a lot, and a strong foundation in electrical and electronic engineering from Obafemi Awolowo University. Well, with respect to the department, I think I need to say that again, that is electronic and electrical engineering from the Obafemi Awolowo University. He just he had a master's also in cybersecurity and information assurance from the United States, so that's the Western Governors University. In this episode, we're going to dive into his journey from engineering to cybersecurity, the evolving threats in those critical infrastructure, and why mentorship matters more than ever before in the today's fast changing tech landscape. So, with so much honor and respect, please welcome
Thanks for having
Mis-
me,
Mr. Wale Olaseha.
Ademola.
You've been one of
Yeah,
the hardest mentors to get to sit down. So I'm highly honored, and I appreciate your time to come share with us on cybersecurity. And
thanks for having me. And yeah, I actually see it as a privilege. Yeah, so yeah, it's one of the things I love to do. So
oh,
yeah,
I know. So we know that you'll be having many sessions. So we know you're very busy, and we just appreciate those slots you give us every month, and we're grateful for it, and we don't take it for granted. So thank you again.
sure.
All right. So my first question is, how did you move from being an engineer, by the way, because I know you to be an electrical engineer, and now you are leading global cybersecurity. How did this transformation happen, first of all?
Yeah, it's no magic. Yeah, so I started on the shop floor fixing PLCs, programmable logic controllers, programming operational technology, smart tools, measurement while drilling, logging while drilling, directional drilling, smart tools, one miswired controller or a misconfigured directional drilling smart tool could stop a drilling rig. So just imagine my face when I heard about the Stuxnet incident, the malware that was designed to slow down in Iran's nuclear program. Yeah, so it showed the whole world that these OT smart devices, these PLCs, these MWD tools, they can be hacked the same way the laptop we're using right now can be hacked. So, how did I make the switch? I started to raise my hands for every security side project, even when I was an engineer, an oil field engineer. Then, shortly after, I grabbed the GICSP, Global Industrial Cybersecurity Professional Certificate. And this was mainly to prove that I spoke three languages. I spoke the process control language, the computer communications language. I usually call it packet language, and of course, security language. And from there, I continued to scale up from managing offshore operational technology for a couple of rigs in Angola, in Nigeria, all around Africa, to being responsible to the secure design of OT security for an $8 billion rail and transit project in Canada. And right now to managing the cyber risk for SLB's global OT landscape, like you mentioned. So one secret to success in cyber security leadership role is you need to master the art of tying security to operation uptime and safety of human and of the environment. Executives, they love to hear this, and they would readily fund projects where you can articulate those two.
I guess I would say that you made a good use of timing. I was listening to a podcast or kind of a short presentation, a TED presentation today, and they talked about the things that makes startups successful. And one major thing was the timing. And I think you made good use of your timing, and that's also why we have you as a mentor, because sometimes you get into a job at a lower level. It depends on how you are able to then scale up when it comes to your experience. What do you think about that for the younger generation, from everything obviously that you've been into?
Yeah, I would say that, sometimes you're so engrossed in the course you're studying and you don't see the outside world. So, what I would tell the younger generation is that as much as you want to learn what you're being taught, the degree you signed for, the reason you're in the university in the first place, you should also look at other things like, making a chronicles of your experience, maybe on a blog, put yourself out there. Um, you know, don't keep quiet. We have this tendency to want to keep quiet, especially with people, those of us from Africa. Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. It's all it's an old style. Yeah, say it, let people know you know it. Um, Document your learnings over years, and look outside your domain. There might be something out there that might be more interesting than what you're doing presently, or maybe that can augment what you're doing presently. So that would be what I would say. Yeah.
Wow. So you know why I like what you just said now? I always say that the world is for the bold. Um, the people that run the world today are the people that are loud, and loud doesn't mean noisy. So for someone that is gentle like you don't talk much, but you talking about being speaking up and putting yourself out there. I think that's a challenge for even some of us that talk and don't like to be out there. You know, it's amazing to hear someone that is this that you are a very calm person. You're very calm,
You're
and
right. Yeah.
you're talking about being out there. For some of us, we're not necessarily not calm, but we talk, but we don't like to talk. We don't like to talk, in front. But thank you for that. That's a good one. All right, I would say that. What does your day look like in your position as the global OT cybersecurity management lead? Because you're you're leading a team in the cybersecurity space. What does the day look like? Let's look for, and I want you to say a good and a bad day.
Okay. So I don't have the same day every day. Yeah, and that is what
That's
my
why I
mates.
said a good and a bad day.
Yeah, yeah, many good ones. Hopefully, we continue to have more good ones than the bad ones, right? Yeah, but a typical day starts by thinking about how you're going to convince uh, the people that hold the budget, that host the money, to support the project, to see the value in what you're doing, because there's something about security. It is abstract until you are attacked, right? So you're like, are we targets of attacks? How many attacks to OT technologies have happened in the past 10 years, something like that? And when you look out there, there is no a lot of instances of these attacks, because some victims in the past chose not to report this because it's embarrassing, right? Or sometimes they try to keep it to protect their reputation, so that customers don't see how weak they are. So there is no a lot of data out there to support this. So it's really tough to really get to convince these people to throw in the kind of money that is actually required to increase your security posture as an organization to a desired level. So most of my days always strategizing, how do we continue to justify the amount of resources in terms of human resources in the team, justify investment in toolings, in technologies, firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and things like that. Yeah, so and I think I kind of mixed the bad and the good together. Yeah, the good is sometimes when you start to see that you're speaking their language, you start to feel confident in yourself, feel accomplished. So yeah, and we I think right now in my organization we are at that level. So that's why I said hopefully it continues this way. We continue to have more of the good days than the bad days. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I like that. I mean, like strategy, because sometimes I joke that you guys that work in cybersecurity, hacking, ethical hacking, you guys have to think. You guys have to think very quickly, and think about situations. So, there's something that I really like about your story, which is not very common, obviously, amidst our friends and colleagues, is the fact that you moved you moved to the West because of work. Most of us moved to the West because of school.
Right.
And I really like that. I really appreciate that. And that's what one thing I want to talk about. You know, that move for you, because it's not everybody that is going to be able to afford the tuition as we see with the economy going around the world. It's not everybody that's going to be able to make that, you know, great move to come to school to be their kind of springboard into moving into the Western system. What would be your advice to a younger generation? Someone looking at himself or herself and saying that I want to move abroad. I would like to live in the West, but I don't have so much money to do this.
Hmm. Ah, so um, maybe I would answer that question in two ways. Uh, I moved to the West. Not that I was desperately looking for it, but of course I appreciate the opportunity to find myself in the West. Yeah. Um, so what I would tell people that are still the engineers that are still in Africa is they should just continue to do their best at their workplace. Um, they should keep making sure that they go above just what is required of their day, of them for their day-to-day jobs, right? In my own case, I gave everything to the job. I loved it, and when the opportunity started to arise to move people around, even when I wasn't actively seeking these opportunities, I was reached out to. Yeah. Yeah, I've worked in, I think, about 10 countries so far. And it actually got to a point that I told them that, okay, I don't want these opportunities anymore. I think I've, maxed out on my travel quota in my lifetime. I just want to be in a place, especially when I started to raise a family. Yeah, so what do I think? Thinking about what made these opportunities come my way, I think it was because my contribution to the team, to the overall organization, was obvious to the people that mattered, and that was why they were chasing me with this kind of opportunity. So, if you're working with an organization, if you have the opportunity to be working with an organization that has a multinational, that is multinational in nature, it's something similar could happen to you too. Now, about you being in Africa and still being able to, you know, do something good for yourself. This is a world that, is advancing by the day. Your passport might not be able to travel far, but your work can actually travel far. The internet knows no border. There's no border to it. So you could be in one small village back in Nigeria, as long as you have access to the internet, your visibility could be worldwide. And you could actually make it right there and, be accomplished in life. So whichever way, yeah, just be ready to take advantage of, the opportunities that come. That is the first prong to the answer. And the other one is, even if the opportunity doesn't come your way, stay there, continue to do your best, leverage the internet, leverage technology, leverage the kind of things that we're doing right now. Yeah, this video is probably gonna go beyond the US. You are in Canada as you're speaking with me, I believe, right? I'm in the US. We just traveled the border in less than 10 minutes, you know? Yeah, so yeah, this is what I would tell people that are coming up.
Amazing. So I know that you were working when you got another degree. Can you share how you did that, balancing that continuous learning? Because you keep getting certifications, you keep getting more degrees, and you've got a family. Um, how do you maintain that? How do you? I know there's nothing called work-life balance, but
Right.
let's just assume there is. How do you balance that continuous learning with the demanding professional responsibilities that you just shared with us?
Yeah, so I would not deceive myself. I wouldn't say it's easy. Yeah, it's not easy, and but one thing I'll say is passion is key,
Mm.
and also ability to see into the future, see where you want to be, what you want to make of yourself.
Mm.
So that drive was in me. I knew where where I wanted to go, where I wanted to be. I wasn't certain how to get there, and I decided to take it one step at a time. So the journey actually started by taking a certification course. You would not see it on my profile. It's been a while ago that I did that. It's CompTIA Security Plus. Yeah, because that was when I started to see that okay, I'm an engineer. Uh, I've been playing with these technologies for a while, and there might be another side of it that might be interesting. Securing these systems from attackers. Then I took a course in cybersecurity. Um, very elementary course, which I would advise that people that want to follow my similar route that I'm on, that they should start with. Now, talking about balancing, all these studying, certifications, masters with work. Um, a lot of alignment happened. So I remember there was a time that we had our notice as network segmentation project at work, and I was like, okay, this would be a good time to register for a SANS course on network segmentation. So I am on a project, a network segmentation project. I was spending only 20% of my time on that project because this time that I was talking about, I wasn't a full-time security person. But I took a parallel course that is about network segmentation, so that I could use the learning from that course uh, in real world environment to kind of see how things work together, and it's really interesting. Yeah, and another thing is every time is is valuable. Driving to work sometimes, listening to podcasts on security. Yeah, the times that I would have used to know what is going on, maybe in some other parts of the world, which I like to know, I like to be current. But during this period of my career journey where I needed to aggressively, get in this knowledge to be able to pivot fully into where I was going to, I had to compromise. So listening to podcasts when driving, uh, thanks to my wife, I kind of shared a lot of responsibilities off my shoulder at that time, and she took them up. Like I said before we started this discussion, that I had to miss taking my son to practice, right? So during all this time, she took over those kind of responsibilities, you know, So and I think it paid off.
It always pays off, right? So you have to sacrifice something for another. And I guess that's something that is missing with people today. And I'm so happy that it paid off. It really paid off for you. So now that you now have that, obviously you do have that experience of studying in the West and in Africa. What are the major differences that you notice? And also in the workplace. And also in the workplace. You've worked in 10 different countries. and the 10 different countries cuts across the West and Africa. So you do have quite a rounded experience in comparing, the African side and the Western side. What's your experience? What do you want to share? What did you see? What are the differences?
Yeah, I think I'll talk about the education part first. Yeah, before I go to comparing workplaces, and maybe you'll be able to pick some of the answers for workplaces from my response to the education part.
Okay.
So in Nigeria, I don't know much about other countries when it comes to studying, other African countries when it comes to studying. But in Nigeria, we both know we love theory. We love to derive fancy equations, electromagnetic theories, nostalgia, right? Maxwell's equations, and things like that. But in the US, it's more project charts and continuous assessment. Somewhat similar to what is going on in Canada as well, right? As educationist that you are, right? Yeah. So talking about how I adapted. So my hack is I play to my math strength. It helped me to be very analytical. And I also did not let fear of sharing unpopular ideas stop me from contributing my perspective to discussions. You talked about that earlier, that Wale used to be a very calm person, didn't talk much, so I forced myself out of my shell. Yeah, I've had numerous cases where an idea that was initially unpopular ended up being discovered as the best course forward. Right? So, for projects that I led, I would ask for feedback early. And I'm talking about that switch from, proving that I'm right to let's co-create from the beginning. So I kind of changed the culture from what we're used to back home, and that was huge. It's that actually mirrors cross-functional teamwork in the workplace, in the industry itself.
So, what you are saying right now is that you kind of made the change within yourself so that
Yeah.
then the change you're experiencing doesn't kind of shock you so very
Right.
quickly. And I would
Yeah.
say that I think that your experience, the reason I asked that question is that I think your experience will be different from people that moved abroad to study. You first, your move was working in an environment where you had a position, um, you had authority. You see what I mean? You were a specialist. You were coming as a specialist. When students come, you're coming to be a student, right? To be led by maybe in grad school by a prof, as a PhD or as a master student. So the game is, I think the cards are played, and that's why I really really wanted to seek your input on that, because obviously you did the work first before you did the graduate school. Most of us did the grad school first before we went on to work, and I think I quite like that. I think I quite like that. The work experience that will actually put you in a better space compared to some of us that have not had that Western experience. Well, now let's go
Thank you.
specifically on cybersecurity. And the reason I'm asking this specifically is that we're beginning to see a lot of mentees that like cybersecurity. We've seen quite a number of people that have had degrees from back home and beginning to switch to cybersecurity now, um, because obviously they can take short courses, they can take online courses, they can take all kinds of courses. Now, I wanted to ask you, for students or engineering students or any student that are interested in cybersecurity, what should they focus on during their studies or after their studies? Let's say somebody like is already graduated and decides that I want to become a
Hmm.
cybersecurity analyst. Let's start from that road.
Okay. So somebody just graduated school and he wants to switch straight to cybersecurity. An engineer, right?
Okay.
To put it. Okay. So I would say you should start where you already shine. Um, and I'm talking about myself. So, I'm not just the regular security guy.
Yeah.
I'm OT security. I always remind people, don't forget the OT qualification in front of it. So, operational technology. Because that is what links me to my roots, which is electrical engineering. knowledge of systems, embedded systems, power systems, control systems, digital systems. So, I would say start again where you already shine. If you know process automation, secure that niche first. Then you can later start to make efforts to bridge the jargon gap, maybe with in a course on networking, maybe Linux basics. You could build a tiny lab, to learn with. I mentioned something about blog, maybe have a blog series to show proof of your little hacking and ethical hacking or offensive security skills. And most importantly, find a mentor. Talk to somebody like me. Don't make the same mistake that I made. Let me tell you my mistakes and how I navigated them, so that you could, get things done faster.
Yeah.
And
And
don't
that's
wait for perfect readiness.
yes.
I said earlier, my first cyber role was only about 15 to 20% of my time. So, what if you get a job? You finish as an electrical engineer. You get a job maybe in a power company. Yeah, they probably have a security department in there. Reach out to them, volunteer to be on their projects. Tell them it's gonna be on your own time, because they might be like, oh, we're not gonna give you our charge code to book to, those kind of stuff. So, yeah, this is what I would advise, young Africans coming out of school and looking to move to cyber.
Thank you so much. And that's my cue also to welcome young Africans and young professionals in Africa, that we do have a mentorship platform that is free. And the reason it's free is that our mentors want to give back. They want to give back to Africa. We see so many courses, and I'm sure you've seen it. Come and learn cybersecurity, you pay. Sometimes you learn, and then when you start making money, you start to pay back something. I keep seeing models like that. Not everybody can afford that. We both went to a government school. I mean, like undergrad, and we know that not everybody comes from that kind of a background that is going to be able to afford that kind of education. But with the grit, you have the intelligence to do the maths and everything. Come seek a mentor that can help you to kind of create a pathway and then shorten your time to success. And thank you for that again, um, engineer Wale of Schlumbije. Okay, so how important is specialization versus being a generalist in cybersecurity careers?
Mm,
Because you mentioned that I should remember that you are OT,
right.
and I know there's OT and Internet of Things. So that means that obviously you have people that are generalists, you have people that are specialized people.
Right.
So what's
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I'm pretty specialized. Yeah, I'm in cybersecurity, but I don't care about your credit card information being stolen. It's not it's not my dog. Yeah, I care about protecting critical infrastructures. I care about uh, the water system in your municipality not getting too much chemicals into it, so that it doesn't make people that consume it sick, and then the health hospital system there gets overwhelmed. Yeah, I care about the bigger picture. Yeah, and the attackers that I fight, they are not after your credit card. They are they want to kill. Yeah, they want to kill. It's weaponized. It's the war has gone to the cyber space, right? So yeah, there are wars going on every day. It's you only hear about the bombs and the guns, but there are attacks in the cyberspace. So, and that's my area of specialization. And now to your question now, specialist versus generalist. I would say at early career, I always use the term T shape. So be a T shape. What does this mean? Have broad basics, but a deep spike in the middle. That is at your early career. Then, as you approach mid-career in cybersecurity, you can dig deeper, even deeper into that spike. Yeah, so if it is OT security, hone your skills even, more deeply in OT security. Then later on, in life, as you're, approaching, higher or senior management level, then you can rise back to the breadth, going back now to the top of the T. Yeah, so it is zigzag. So sometimes once you get your foot in the door, you begin to see where you fit most. So I'm back to the top of the T in my own career now. I don't go into any depth anymore. I'm like seeing the bigger picture and making sure that people that are still coming behind me, in the same organization, are doing their own part. Because at the end of the day, the organization should have all these, groups of people, for you to be able to secure.
Okay, so what would now be your advice that you will give to African tech professionals that are considering cybersecurity entrepreneurship?
Cybersecurity entrepreneurship or cybersecurity? Yeah,
So,
because
entrepreneurship, like they want to start their own business. They want to start
okay,
their own cybersecurity startups, businesses.
okay, great. Yeah, so my advice to them will be first, you need to know the subject. Yeah. Some people are good at, the business side of things without, having, any technical knowledge about the domain they want to do business in. Yeah, but I think those people are very few. You should at least know the basics of cybersecurity. And then I would advise that you start small. There's a domain of OT security that we call secure design. So it's about helping organization build security into their systems from ground up. It's a domain that you want to venture it into first. You want to make sure you maybe have a list of organizations that are looking to build infrastructures and be ready to partner with the big dogs, because most of these projects are in billions of dollars. So be ready to partner, be ready to maybe offer a small, maybe $200,000 penetration testing service as part of maybe an $8 billion mandate. Be ready to just perform maybe a cybersecurity risk assessment. Don't say you want to go for the big one from the beginning. So this is how I would say that you should start. Once you start like this, before you know it, if your work is really very good and you did things the right way, in no time you will be called for bigger mandates. So this is what will be my advice.
So now that you are back on the top of the T, where you can see like more like an umbrella now, basically you're on top overseeing those guys with many spines down there. Where do you see cybersecurity, the field itself, heading in the next 5 to 10 years? And what should students prepare for?
Yeah, this is not the first time I'm having a discussion like this. Yeah. So I would say and I'm not gonna say you, because this is coming for all of us. So we should expect AI on both sides of the fence, from the attacker side and also from the defense side. Yeah. Software defined everything. Software defined networking, software defined perimeter, software defined everything. So most stuff are going to move more and more to the cloud. So cloud security knowledge or knowledge of cloud architecture as a whole will be valuable to anyone looking into this space. And also regulation. You see the kind of regulation we see in the finance space, in the banking space today. Those kind of regulations are going to be crashing into critical infrastructure environments. So we're going to be seeing more regulatory frameworks that OT security folks need to align or comply with in the coming years. Another one is quantum safe crypto will move from white papers to policy. So it's not going to be, there are a lot of graduate thesis, postgraduate, research going on in that space right now. We're going to start to see the reality. Yeah, it's not going to be research work. So this is what I predict. So I would say, folks just joining should arm themselves up with knowledge of secure coding. Data science for security analytics is really key. If you want to get to the top, you have to be able to use data to tell stories to the people that have the money, hold the money. Yeah, so that's really valuable, very, very, very key. And of course, governance frameworks. We're gonna see more and more of things like that. So this is my prediction. Yeah,
I think it's quite relatable, especially when you also mention quantum, because in the field of wireless communication where I work, we're also moving towards quantum communication. So we're beginning to do a lot of work. There's been also a lot of funding in quantum communication, and I'm not surprised that obviously that would also affect the cybersecurity field. So thank you for that comprehensive. And finally, and this is in closing, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, and maybe any aspiring African student, what would that be? Maybe those ones looking to build a career in cybersecurity, we could do it that way. But let's look at everything in general, life in general, and stuff in general. What would be your one advice? And then in cybersecurity, what would be your one advice?
Okay, generally, I would say start earlier, because I would have started earlier. I know you praised me. You said I've accomplished in life, but I know I could have done better. So maybe if I had started earlier, maybe I would have been maybe better than where I am today. So I would say to my younger self, if I can turn back the hands of time, I would start earlier, and maybe you should blog your lessons. Your blog could actually become your resume. I mentioned something about your passport traveling slowly, about internet not respecting the borders. So continue to contribute to open source, join global Slack channels, let your skills shout before your visa does. Yeah, because I'm speaking, people will be like, you are in the West, so it's easier to say all this, because you could actually be back there at home, and your skill is speaking for you, traveling borders. Yeah. Then I'll say keep learning, keep sharing, and the world will come looking for you. So that's my advice in general.
That's amazing. Just don't keep quiet.
Yes.
Keep working.
Don't keep quiet like I used to keep quiet when I was in OAU.
Yes, you were quite. You were not quiet. You were gentle.
Okay, thank you.
You are gentle. You're not quiet. You're not a quiet person, but you're not a loud person. But you are gentle. You're a gentle person. Like, if nobody asks you anything, you wouldn't see anything. But right. I know you. Do you know I can still see your hands as you write. I still know how you write. I still know your handwriting. I mean, like, there are things you remember about people, and it's weird sometimes. Like, oh, I remember his hand when he works mathematics, especially when we're trying to solve those maths. And I'm so grateful that you're also in a space that allows you to be. It's a space that allows you to be gentle, but not quiet. I'll always say it's just like seeing me in cybersecurity. I don't see myself in cybersecurity. Do I see myself maybe teaching cybersecurity? Maybe, but to be the one that sits there, our personalities also dictate what we will do. I love
Right.
I love being an educationalist. I love being an educator. I love being someone that talks about education and transforming lives, and I find it very fulfilling. So now you take me to front of the computer and be looking for people trying to attack. That would be great punishment for me, right? So so and we're grateful for it. So um, finally, I just wanted you to have a closing word for what we do at We Guide, or and your advice to people that are watching today.
Yeah, yeah, just continue to shoot for the stars.
Mm.
Yeah, every challenge is an opportunity to learn. So, yeah, take it like, okay, you just failed on this, but there's a lesson you can pick from there that's gonna help you in your next endeavor. So, continue to try. This is what I would say.
Right. And that brings us to the end of the podcast. We'd like to say a very big thank you again to the boss, who's giving us so much time today.
You are the
and
boss.
hopefully,
Thank you, Adibola. I
and
appreciate
hopefully
it. So,
we'll send some amazing mentees to you. And I think this is a cybersecurity powerhouse that I think anyone looking into cybersecurity should take advantage of. Obviously, you can't see his calendar open up all the time, but I would say take advantage of the time he has to spend with you, and so that you can scale up very quickly. So once again, thank you, and from all of us at We Guide, we want to appreciate you, our dear mentor, and thank you for coming.
thank you.
Have a good day.